Amanda, the Lioness Nunes.
What's going on, guys? This is Greg Farley from the Wise Guys MMA page, and I'm here with one of a lot of people's favorite fighters, Amanda, the Lioness Nunes. She's got a fight coming up this Saturday, and I hope you guys tune in to check this out after this Saturday. But in breaking down one of the best female fighters on planet Earth, a lot of people say Cyborg, a lot of people say Amanda. Hopefully that comes to fruition. She's the undisputed women's bantamweight champion of the world for a very good reason. And we're going to jump straight into those reasons. So the first reason and the first strength that she has is her devastating, and I mean devastating, knockout power in her hands. Have to do well sometimes to just let something ride and let things speak for themselves. When you check out Amanda, when you watch her fight, the first thing that comes to mind is she is throwing for the fences. It may not be a wild haymaker. There are a lot of times straight punches, but when they're coming, they're on the way and they are trying to take someone out. And for a lady to have a mean streak like that, for a woman to have a mean streak like that, it says a lot about how heavy she's punching. Not to get into anatomy and all that kind of stuff, but to really break down her punches, they come from a place of full extension. A lot of people can throw punches from a short distance or kind of like a Cody Garbrandt, but Amanda could teach a very good class on how to throw punches in bunches and stay behind your punch. She also does well to be first to every single type of punch. If she's throwing, she's starting off the round, letting you know that she runs the ring. I think a lot of fighters fall short, and this is in any walk of any type of combat sports. A lot of fighters fall short where they just let people dictate how something's going to go, rather than just go out there and throw 5 seconds of punches and then move around like you do. Then it may work in your favor. This is just me with a theory. This is just my theory. This is just how I would coach someone to fight. I would coach them a lot like I would coach Amanda. If they can punch like that, I would teach them, hey, throw for the fences, throw your straight punches if you're not that powerful, but make sure that you're the first one, and then your counter fighting and everything else that you want to do, your takedowns, everything works off of that. Now, granted, I've just showed you a bunch of lower level fighters, lower level organizations, if you will. But in getting to the real reason why you guys tune in is you guys love the UFC. I love the UFC. It's the best brand. She put something on Miesha Tate, and God bless Miesha Tate. She's gorgeous, amazing fighter, amazing ambassador. But like she said herself, she said it on Undisputed on Fox, the second she felt her punch, she knew that it was going to be a long night, and she also knew when Ronda fought Amanda that it was going to be a long night for Ronda, because she just hits too hard. She hits too hard. I mean, it looks like, you know, it looks like a male's power, to be honest.
Уже в Гроге находится сейчас Ронда Роузи, ее ведет. Ее просто уничтожение. И все. Ронда Роузи вновь
You know, Ronda got pieced up. That was an exhibition on what boxing looks like when it's done well. And get into her second strength, her dominant ground game, her dominant Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu. A little bit more so the ground and pound than Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu, but they both have done work. She's a black belt in Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu. The number one thing that I've noticed with her Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu is she gets straight to the point. The same with her ground and pound. She gets straight to the point. Her biggest strength overall as a fighter is getting to the point. A lot of people, when you get bored when you're at Buffalo Wild Wings, you're hanging out with your friends and you're watching a fight of any sport, combat sport, and you see someone standing there and standing and standing and standing. Not so much with Amanda. She's trying to get you out of there as fast as possible. Shout out to Grand Theft Auto. I know some of you guys are video gamers. You should realize the wasted symbol. And jumping into her earlier fights in Invicta, she won a few by rear naked choke. She won a few by top position ground and pound, and just dropping bombs with elbows and dropping bombs with punches and syncing up. This girl actually didn't tap. I forget her name. Forgive me for not finding her name. I'll try to put it in the comments later on. But she didn't want to tap. And like they say, tap, snap, or nap. And she took a nap. It was actually kind of scary. I remember watching this. I'm a big fan of MMA to the point that I watch Invicta. I watch all these other organizations, but UFC is obviously my favorite. As you can see, here's some more ground and pound. Devastating hammer fist, elbows. She does the same thing that Khabib does, where she knows how to get up. When she's in a position to ground and pound someone, a lot of people stay in the guard and stay on their knees, but people like Khabib and the best ground and pound artists, they like to stand up unless they don't have to, which, you know, if you're in mount, you don't have to, because they're probably going to end the fight pretty soon anyway. I would say her number 3 strength, and this is my opinion, is she's very patient and tactical. You just saw her swinging for the fences against plenty of other fighters, but when it came down to Valentina, she couldn't do that. I'm a big fan of Valentina, so I study these ladies and gentlemen, and I study everything about combat sports. You can't do that with a counter fighter like Valentina. You can't throw from the hips all the way up like she did against Misha and Ronda. Granted, it's because Valentina is a good striker in her own right and she could walk into something. But Valentina's literal best weapon is to counter you. Why give that person that kind of leverage against you by throwing something wild? And it's not so much wild from Amanda, but throwing something from the hips where you can possibly get caught with one of those hooks. Valentina is good at throwing check hooks. She tactically just took her out of her element. Obviously, she's decent in judo, Valentina is, but it just couldn't do a whole lot against Amanda. Once she got her on the ground, Amanda's black belt took over, and it's a legit black belt from America. I forget the name of the Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu school, but she trains at American Top Team. She's training with the top people in Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu, in wrestling, in boxing, and in many other disciplines. Again, she wrestled with her, got her down, and then won their second meeting. She also won the first. This is when she was the number 4 ranked contender. This is when she was the champion. She defended her title in a split decision. She did very well. And getting into the weaknesses section, as you can see, the lion on the prowl, the lioness on the prowl. It's hard to find weaknesses with Amanda, to be honest. She's at the top of the food chain, so obviously you're the one that's being hunted. So the question becomes, can you sustain it? Can she beat Cyborg? Who knows? It's a toss-up between her and Cyborg, to be honest, but I think Cyborg does a few things that Amanda would be in trouble with. As for this Saturday, she fights Raquel Pennington. I'm just going to be honest, and I'm going to be a little bit comical. Raquel, it's a trap. Obviously, you're in this sport to win the title, but this is a trap. I think I don't know what happened with Amanda versus Cyborg. It just fell apart, and they just kind of slipped Raquel Pennington in there. Raquel Pennington's like 9-6, which I'm not talking trash. I'm just saying that's a big difference between someone like Valentina. So I honestly, I think this is going to end, and it's going to end rather quickly. Raquel is tough. Raquel can scrap, you know. But when you say, hey, this girl is tough, this girl can scrap, as you saw in a lot of the promos, that's okay. But what strength does she have? What does she do well? It's kind of hard to find. But again, I appreciate you guys tuning in. Let me know what you guys think about the other fights. Like, comment, subscribe, and as always, bless.